That's all I have to do. Do you know what I can't do? I can't do this on a flat Earth. It doesn't work. Nothing about this works. But all I have to do to make this work and match that exact same reality from my security camera is put it on a globe where I am, the size they say it is, the angle they say it is, to the distance of the sun. Yeah, go for it.
Would I be wrong in stating the fact that the actual path of a rotating ball and the path of a spiraling sun is the exact same?
No, not for a shadow, no.
They're the exact same?
No.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because this shadow is moving at
I can take a ball right now. Let me get a ball right now.
No. I'm gonna tell you. So the issue is a spiraling sun will not move. A spiraling sun will not move 15 degrees in the sky on a flat surface if you're not at the North Pole. The only place that will be true is the North Pole. The second you start moving south, that's not a thing anymore.
Let me get a ball. I'm going to see. I'm gonna tape a thumbtack to a ball, shine a light on it.
You're gonna do what now?
I'm gonna tape a thumbtack to a ball, one of my kids' balls.
No. What you need to do is I
want to see the difference between that, and I'm gonna use my Gleason map, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, but have you ever tested flat?
Oh, there's a ball right here.
Have you tested flat?
Have I tested flat? What do you mean?
How have you attempted to falsify flat Earth?
How have I to falsify it?
Yeah, to prove it wrong. How have you attempted to do that?
Well, all my life I knew I was taught that it was a globe.
No. Forget globe. Forget globe. I'm talking about flat Earth.
I came into flat. Me personally, I came into flat Earth in 2015. I was at Liberty University, and that's when I got introduced to it. Not because it was a biblical thing or whatever. I generally asked a question on Quora and got an answer. This is my journey. Back in 2015. So I happened to be at a major university in America. So I was like, okay, this is great. If this is something, I'm gonna argue it against my professors. And I did. I mean, I actually did a whole in 2015. I did a whole presentation, and one of my entire last projects in one of my classes was on flat Earth, and I had a lot of people come in all over the school, and we debated it for probably 4 hours, which is a very long time in a school setting. And I kind of been on it ever since because I was able to test these against people who were accredited in the field. And at the time, I didn't know a quarter of what I know now, but because it allowed me to go deeper, because I'm like, okay, well, they conceded to some of these things as being like issues or, one-offs, whatever. They didn't say like, oh yeah, so there has to be flat or anything like that. But they came to the realization that some of these things that we're generally taught are completely off basis completely. And, if you were to compile a lot of these things, you could get to a different theory.
Okay. On your path, I've got a question for you then. So would you say you don't need a lie to substantiate a truth, right? The two are not the same. Wait a minute. Whoa, no one's assuming anything. And why are you telling me a lie to substantiate a truth?
Wait, what? Okay, so
okay. The ball. Don't mention. Right. Okay. Go for it. Go for it.
Starts with everybody. When I bump into somebody, I will.
No. Whoa. Stop. No. I don't want. Whoa. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
keep following.
Yeah, but no, I'm not. I'm saying I'm not a glober. I don't care about globers. I don't believe in a globe. I don't believe in gravity, and I don't believe in curvature. Throw all that out. All of those are lies. All of those are lies. Do not mention any more lies. Now, give me. Yeah, there you go. Give me a better way to start. Go for it. Go for it. Give me a truth.
Starting to say, the Earth is stationary. It's objectively stationary. Nothing in your daily life tells you, one, that you're rotating, or two, that this thing even moves.
Whoa! I don't give a shit about movement. I'm on about the shape of the planet or the ground. What's the movement got to do with anything?
It has everything to do with everything.
That's inference.
Are we stating?
You are whoa. Yeah, that's inference. I don't know, and I don't care. I want to know the shape of the Earth.
Okay, so if anybody was to assume anything, you would know that water is level in a tub, in a pond, in a sink, in a toilet.
Brilliant. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere.
So how many pools would it take before you realize that this thing has to be flat? It doesn't curve over a ball.
Okay, so give me the flat prediction then. This is going to be awesome. I think we're getting somewhere. Right. So give me the flat prediction that I can go out and measure.
Yep. Earth is a large thing. So you're saying just one person go out and try to figure it out? Like,
well, yeah. Well, no, I don't care about anybody else. I'm not about me. No. Me. Give me one thing. Go for it.
Okay. I would just start by saying that you can see too far. You can see infinitely far. Well,
wait a minute. I can see. Whoa. Let's too far. What do you mean too far? What's too far mean?
You can see beyond what your eyes can see if you use things like I can introduce a person to a telescope or something like that, or a high power lens.
Yeah.
Look, go to Kansas. Go to Florida. Go to most states in America. Well, almost
okay. Whoa. Okay. No. So first of all, I can see too far, but I can't. But something about eyes. Is there a prediction that you can give me, or are you just going to say we see too far? Because that doesn't really give me anything to test. I mean, wait a minute. Are you saying that I should be able to stand on the Boston coast and see the peaks of Nova Scotia? Right? Is that too far?
I don't know how far that is specifically.
About 1,400 kilometers. Oh, actually, I don't know. It might be a little bit less than that. But it's a fucking long way, a really long way.
I would think that one you would need.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
One, a very clear day and some superb optics. You need both of those things in order to achieve a distance that far. But yeah, okay. So the Guinness record is
right.
Of somebody doing a selfie. It's like.
Wait a minute. You broke up there. Oh, it just went funny, dead in the middle. So here's a question, though, if you can still hear me. Oh, now you've gone out the app again. So we can't hear you talking anyway, just so you know. I know what the Guinness World Record is from extreme high up, but I'm saying if we can see too far then. So I can, so what's that mean? Because even if I see from Boston to Nova Scotia, of which no one's ever seen, by the way, from Boston, but even if I could, that you're still inferring that the Earth is flat from that single thing. Is there anything I can measure? By the way, you're muted and seemingly out of the app, I think. I don't know. Yeah, no, you've flicked away from the app. Oh, very tired. Okay. I shall wait a few moments. I'll let someone else in. Hopefully there'll be a flat earther as well and they can gang up on me. Hello? Okay then. PXify. Hello? Oh, no then. Okay then. Anybody else want to request to come up, by the way? That'd be cool. Jason hello.
Hi. I actually wanted to be here while the other guy was here, but now they've all left.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might come back. I think there might have just been an issue with his phone, to be fair.
This was I scrolled past, I saw open debate, and I was kind of surprised to see that. That's the first time, I think, right? Different topics.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I like any topics really. That I can argue with, for or against. So that's I'm fine with that. So anything from technology to hardware to the shape of the Earth to anything, I don't mind. To objective morality, I'll do that as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And yet the topic was, of course, the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, I've got a lot of examples or that demonstrably invalidate flat Earth, but I'm more interested in finding one truth about flat Earth that no flat earther has been able to give me yet without mentioning curvature or globe. And you do not need a lie to substantiate a truth.
That's true.
I take it. Wait a minute. I take it you're not a flat earther then.
Have you forgotten me again? I was here 2 days ago, man.
Have you? Well, oh, wait a minute. I don't remember every generic fucking icon. Did I say that last time?
That are without like any kind of profile picture or anything.
Yes, and how many people do you think commit the fucking generic profile picture to memory? None. Okay, yeah, no one does that.
I'm Jason, though.
Yes, no one does that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
I can debate you. I can debate you on religion if you really want.
I'm an atheist.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, no, we agree on most things. Maybe we can talk about Android versus iOS. I don't know.
Don't commit any crimes then, because the police can fucking hack the shit out of your phone and dump everything from it. Whereas,
so you're an iOS guy then?
Well, I can actually win arguing for either.
I totally would expect that from you. You can probably win any kind of argument.
No, there are a few that can, but I could definitely win the technology iOS thing.
Yeah, I would totally expect that because, yeah, you have a lot of experience with technology and stuff.
Wait a minute, Android is better than iOS. No, Charles, no, it isn't.
So I don't know about the when it comes to security and that sort of stuff. I'm expecting that iOS is better in that regard, but when it comes to just freedom, I guess, to use my phone the way I want to use my phone, then I definitely prefer Android, which is why I have Android.
Okay, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with what you said in terms of customizability, but that's one facet, yeah. So to objectively say that something is better or not better, we need to explore most facets, yeah. So, and we have to start with the most popular ones first. We absolutely do. We have to start with, well, what's better from a consumer standpoint? So customizability fits a very small niche. Data security fits a massive proportion of people. And unfortunately, iOS dwarfs Android then. Hello, Som, how are you?
Hey, can I add something to that right quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you aware of jailbreaking the iPhone?
I am, yes.
Okay, so when you jailbreak the iPhone, basically, you're turning it into an Android. It's therefore unsafe.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa. Let me just combat that 2 seconds. So the answer is both yes and no. So you can jailbreak, but they're very quick to fix it, whereas you could always root an Android device. So it isn't a case that you can jailbreak the latest iPhones on the latest iOS. That's not a thing currently. You can jailbreak 3 versions ago on previous hardware. Now, but there's very specific security and certificate signing that's hardware related built into app distribution, which means some apps will not be able to run because the hardware authentication on a jailbroken device is not there. So that's how the security comes in. So so being able to do it is infinitely harder than just rooting an Android device because it's a Linux kernel. And then even when you've done it, it's still more secure than base Android, let alone rooted Android.
Yeah, I'm an Apple all the way.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Then no, Android is way better. Because Android is designed off the hardware overlay system called View Flipper, which came from Linux, which was so simplistic in its nature. And besides that, it started off, you can develop apps in Java, the godfather of all fucking programming languages almost, where everything from a TCP socket to an advanced view system is almost free and easy to do. So Android shits on iOS and no, sorry. Anyway, I can argue both. Fuck it.
Years ago, when I first started I was in the Windows system only, and I used to talk crap about Apple until I joined Apple and worked for them. And
Yeah.
when I did, I saw everybody walking around with like clipboards that said, I love my Apple, and mugs that said, I love my whatever. All these I love my Apple devices all over the place. And when I walked in, I swore I would not become one of those people. 3 months later, I was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, wait a minute, like Astro says, both have pros and cons. It depends on contextual use. So when deciding what's better, absolutely based on the individual, but you can generalize. And when you start generalizing and then put things at the top like security, availability, premier collection of apps, a curated app store that's very, very hard to release apps on compared to Android, that can be both a good and bad thing, and it depends. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Symbian on Nokia 25 years ago. There you go. I used to love the Symbian operating system. I thought that was awesome.
I'll go with security any day, because I don't want my credit card stuff stolen at any moment. I don't want my pictures hacked from my phone at any moment. Yeah, I'll go with security.
Yeah, but then again, a lot of iCloud leaks have been happening for the past, I don't know.
Yeah, so whoa. Just so that there's no misinformation spread, an iCloud leak, 99.99999% of that is due to social hacking. That means I fake something to make you sign into your account when it's not your account, so that I get your username and password. It's that simple. That's not that the iCloud system was hacked, because the problem with that is if you use bit encryption on any Apple device, including MacBooks or iPhones or iPads, then not even Apple can read your iCloud data.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Interesting that, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty good, yeah.
It is. Although my country is trying to abolish that at the moment, believe it or not.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, the United Kingdom is trying to force Apple into storing users' encryption keys and then creating a gateway to allow government agencies to access anybody's data. And this has gone through the Houses of Parliament. It is utterly disgusting.
Oh, that is not right.
Yeah.
Someone joined and then he left. What happened?
Yeah, if a flat earther comes back, I kick everybody out. So,
It's not about flat earth anymore. It's about iPhone now and Android.
Yeah, but like I say, I can argue and win. So
Sam, you're an Android user then?
What's that?
You used to be an Android user?
No. I was a Windows user before I went over to the. Well, I mean, I use both Windows and Apple now, but Apple has always been a step ahead. But like Apple, you can always use a Windows hard drive.
Nokia.
Hi, what's up?
I like Nokia. Do you guys use Nokia?
You mean I used to use Nokia. I used to use the Symbian operating system on Nokia, and it used to be awesome.
Yeah, Nokia was great back in the day.
Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, it's really strong.
But as I was saying, I'm 56 years old right now. So as I was saying, went out the window.
Oh crap! Man, that's
If you remember what I was saying, you can get me back on track.
I don't remember. No.
Wait a minute. Really, guys, really important question. Nixer, pick a side.
Android, and I'll explain why.
Okay, go for it. Explain.
Because Apple does not provide open source. They take ideas from open source, they run on it, and then they close their ecosystem. Where Android is open source, so bug fixes and security hacks get fixed faster, and it's more thorough. The largest data breaches have happened under Apple's watch, not Android's watch.
I was wondering about that because you almost never hear about. At least I usually when I hear about it, all this iOS.
So. I don't disagree about the open source thing. I mean, Apple Talk was a complete blatant rip-off, as is AirDrop is just Wi-Fi Direct with Apple's own editions and then closed. I absolutely agree with you on that, Nixie. Except I don't agree with you on the security thing because to have open source software, there are more security issues with Android than there ever could be with Apple, purely because Apple is predominantly closed source. Now, by the way, the entire Swift programming language that Apple did a brilliant job of creating is entirely open source, by the way, just saying. But the libraries and deep SDKs and things, yes, it is kind of a black box sometimes what happens inside them, but that inherently promotes better security because they have a handle on it. That's not the same with Android, whereby I can pull the AOSP, I can look at everything. Not only that, I can root devices and even intercept code execution on the kernel. I cannot do that on Apple, even on a jailbroken Apple device.
Agreed. But I want to give you one of the largest data breaches was done because Apple allowed SIM swapping. They didn't do a recheck whenever a SIM swap happened, and that's how iClouds were broken into until Apple changed that. So people were being hacked this was about 2004 through 2006, by people going into the store and changing the SIM, where Android didn't have that.
You know what?
Because your
the iPhone didn't come out until 2008.
I got it off by a decade, excuse me. 2014. Sorry. You'll see that the credentials for the iCloud are stored on your iPhone, and it doesn't re-prompt you if you did a SIM swap.
Oh, to me that's a bug, and that would have needed fixing. And I would, I'm not sorry. Oh, by the way, there are loads of bugs that happen on iOS. It is not infallible. So, for instance, I had a product out there that used there was an augmented reality product, and this is an enterprise product. I had people saying it's just not working anymore, and they're like, "What are you on about?" And they just, I think this was iPhone 14 or 13 Pro. And I said, well, of course it works. There's nothing changed in the last 6 months. Obviously, a new iPhone had come out. What iPhone are you using? Oh, the latest one. Okay, so I went and got the latest iPhone. And augmented reality just wouldn't track. Not one thing on that phone would track. Even Apple's own measuring augmented reality app, you place down a marker and you just watch it piss off into the distance at quite an astonishing rate sometimes as well, which was quite amusing. So the drift was progressive, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? And then entirely because it's closed source, I can't look at why that's happening. But I kind of inferred it from doing a day and a half's worth of tests. Because the field of view of the cameras changed from 12 to 13, they haven't implemented that in the parallax tracking, which means everything that's doing offsets for the pixels is now doing it on the wrong field of view of the camera, which every time it iteratively does it, it starts moving it off into the distance based on where it is, how far it is away from the center of the lens. And they didn't admit to this, and they took about 2 months to fucking fix it, whereas me, that relies on that for some of my products, I take a lot of flack because of that. So there are bugs. They're not infallible. They are a software company. Their developers are just as fallible as I am. I don't blame them for that, and including on security breaches, but that's not an inherent problem. That's a mistake. Android, because of its just-in-time execution, whether your app is developed, if you've got a native app developed in either core Java or Kotlin being a subset of Java anyway, the obfuscation of that code and packaging goes into the APK, and then at runtime through the Android runtime environment, the ART runtime, it gets executed but compiled to machine code just in time. Now, and it can cache that compile as well, by the way, into, out of in a binary state for code execution. But the problem with that is, if I root that device, first of all, I can take that APK as is and just decompile it. That's easy. I end up with loads of obfuscated code, but I can then go through and look for security issues, because even though the naming's off, I can do refactoring and kind of rename things. I can inspect what's going on there and get a good foundation for it. But a lot of tools exist for me to actually name that properly back to something coherent. Not only that, if I root that device, I can get that app to execute and set breakpoints and then figure out what's actually happening in order to bypass security on it if I want. So I cannot do that on iOS. And that's the same. I don't know whether you heard it, Nixie, but a police officer came up and said, we can dump everything from an Android phone in 20 minutes. We can't dump anything from an iPhone if we get one. And that's what I like.
So, no, that is actually untrue. And I can give you some stats on that, because
Go for
Pegasus, if you're familiar with Pegasus.
I am not. No.
Okay, so Pegasus is a software company out of Israel, and in little under 30 minutes, I can have everything off your iPhone.
Holy shit.
It's just as fast as Android. And this is because of Operation Triangulation, which was a spyware software that was going on the iOS. Look up, it was called Operation Triangulation. And it happened on iOS for 4 years.
Oh, right. No, wait a minute. Are you talking about the spyware that went round that was injected through browsers and things?
Spyware.
Yeah.
The spyware brought into consideration Pegasus. And Pegasus was operating since 2016. And it was actually sold in the US under, what's the name of that cell phone forensic software? Hold on. Celebrite. So
yeah, I use Celebrite.
Celebrite used the Pegasus software. That
Really?
was all closed down by Apple in 2022, 2023. Android never had that exploit. And this is the difference between open source and closed source, is Apple doesn't open the library unless they need to, where Android is always changing the libraries all the time, which adds a level of difficulty if there's a open door no one knows about.
I know. I absolutely get that. But for a long time, Android and the updates to Android, I think, let's say 8 years ago, were all governed by phone makers. There wasn't an independent way to distribute either hot fixes or security fixes, even when they had serious kernel security issues.
Yeah.
What's that?
I would completely disagree. If we were talking 10 years ago, I would say that iOS was 40% better. Today, I would probably state the other way. But, I can point to ginormous hacks that have happened in the Apple world. They're better at covering their own tracks because they're not open as well.
So, I agree with that statement, to be fair. But I've got a question for you next year. So you've got your person.
Sure.
No, it can't be you and it can't be I. So wait a minute, give me a second. So it's this third party. They're carrying a phone. It's got all of our data on it, and they set the phone up their way for us, and it's got our personal data on it, right? They accidentally lose that phone. Do you want that to be an Android phone or an iPhone?
I'd rather have it be a Samsung.
But wait a minute. A standard user set it up.
We're screwed either way because they probably didn't turn on two-factor authentication in either case.
However, on the let's say I grab both of those phones. There are very distinct ways to be able to, like you say, without knocks or bit encryption on either. one of those is infinitely easier for me to read than the other. And it is down to Apple being so, I'm going to say arsehole-ish about things. It's not like I can rip an EEPROM and an SSD off and then wire it up to be able to read it through a PIC controller myself on an iPhone. That won't work. It will on most Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, anything like that. And
here's the difference.
Yeah, go on.
Here's the difference. Just to be devil's advocate, on an Apple, I can override pin security and make the pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't do that on a Android phone. So if we're talking about an average user, they could set a 4-digit simple pin and override on iOS, but they can't do that. So if this is just a simple user, they put 1, 2, 3, 4, we're in their phone. I don't need anything else.
No, but it could be. We don't know. It might be a 6-digit. Then
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, but I mean, we don't know what it is, so we're faced with either being able to. Oh, you're gonna just progressively guess 6 digits.
No, I'm just going to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, but let's say they didn't. No, let's say they didn't choose that. They're not you or I. However, they are not also stupid.
Well, you know that there was a security report that came out that if they could override the PIN, and Apple is not reporting, but several security firms have come out with surveys that on the average Apple phone, the pins are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No.
21% of
No way.
No, and law enforcement will tell you that's true.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something awesome about the iOS operating system. I can quite simply have my phone taken out of my hands, and the second that it will be locked, even if I was using it at the time. Do you know that?
Yep, you can turn on that feature on Android as well.
Oh, can you? I did not know that.
You know who powers that?
I think
actually, I'll tell you that in DM. I don't want to let some of the information I know out. I'm more than comfortable to share it with you.
Cool.
I am a white hat.
Okay, so here's a question, Nick's here. There's 10 apps released from major outlets. And then there's 10 apps released from, so these are two very distinct different scenarios. So 10 apps released from unknown developers. Now, those 10 apps from major outlets like, let's say, Skype, Zoom, Facebook, major players, there's a quality expectation on an iOS app more so than there is on Android. Would you agree that was the case? Maybe not so much anymore, but Apple still holds a slight advantage due to its very stringent control of design guidelines, which are a lot less strict on Android.
Correct.
Okay.
I think the Apple Store is more strict, and I think the Apple Store is a bit more finicky. Okay,
cool. Now, let's take that. So we're agreed that, they're strict in terms of quality. So, given the same app, our experience on that same app might be better on iOS. And believe it or not, because of the Continental United States primarily has more Apple users than Android, I think. So they kind of get the quality. And I think that it's a very disproportionate figure that says Apple users spend more on apps and in-app purchases. But that's by the by. The quality is a little bit better. But if we take the lower tier now, we've got 10 developers that are releasing, 10 developers developing 10 random apps. Now, some portion of those developers are going to track malicious things that are not required by the functions of their app. And a very minute portion, they're going to have malware injected into their app out of these low tier 10. Yeah. Would you expect those to be released on iOS and Android evenly? Or do you think one of those would actually pick up on that and say, no?
Nowadays, it would probably be 5 on iOS and 7 on Android.
So I'm going to say, so I'm going to say it would be 1 might get through on iOS and 10 would get through on Android. The reason I say that is not last week. Was it last week? Shit, what day are we on? Week before last. I released an app, an enterprise app to the business stores on respective platforms on Play and the App Store. Now, I stupidly declared, because I intended to include a library that I wrote for background transactions, I included requiring longer processing time and background transactions, and then earmarked what you call an IPC on both to be able to do that, although that didn't exist in either. So basically, I'm saying I'm using this permission. I'm going to be doing this. I need more app resources. I don't want you to kill the task because I'm doing this, but this doesn't exist. Now, that went straight out onto Google Play, not touching a goddamn thing. Now, the first I knew about it on iOS is on the build process that downloads the checks to my device and then runs it through a series of automation checks and authoritative checks. It came up with a warning, but I actually just ignored it. I thought, it can't be asked. Just be gone. And then I deploy it to test flight. It got to test flight, which releases to my internal testers, absolutely fine. And I say, I want to release this to an external test group because it goes to clients. At that point, it got flagged and said, well, hang about, no. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, no. And it says, do you want to submit it? And I went, oh, just submit. It came up with that warning again. So this is 3 steps that it's tried warning me, saying, hey, look at this. And this is me being lazy. And I just said, no, submit it. The next thing I get a message about a day later from Apple saying, sorry, you're not doing this. And they're like, why? What am I doing? Well, this is what you've done, and they wrote me a big explanation. Now, this is a manual individual that's gone through, a human being, looked at the automated reports, dug down into it and said, you ain't using this. Why is it declared here? This is weird. And with Google Play, it just went straight out. Apple, it tried stopping me all the way to me saying, no, fucking submit it. And then a human being said, you're not releasing this because you're declaring something that is not used. Either write an explanation of why you need it now, and it better be good. Well, they didn't say it better be good, or take it out, and then we'll reevaluate. Now, that's what I call a curated store, whereas the Google Play version just went straight out. So I think there's a huge disparity.
Device fingerprinting companies don't work on Android anymore. So if you want to talk about the ability to anonymously track you, it's way easier on iOS.
If that's true, I'm very surprised.
And you know why that's true?
Because you said it in a very authoritative way.
No, because iOS has the Apple Store is not maintained like the Apple Store still uses a lot of those device fingerprints in Safari because they don't invest their money there. So the hacks for that are all over. And you can go find them.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not going to defend WebKit in any way. Chromium as a library and being open source is just a order of magnitude better. I know this. I do not defend WebKit and Safari at all.
And don't forget your iOS update from 16.6.1 because they had crafted a arbitrary execution code that was found in Citizen Lab. So yeah, they're good, but they're not perfect. And that unfortunately was detected 8 months after it was released and being used on the dark web. So I think the problem Apple now has is they're falling behind because they have less developers than Android does.
I mean, we both know quantitatively that more isn't always better, though, right? Making something infinitely accessible doesn't mean that the quality is there or the justification for the throughput or velocity of whatever that is justified and good. All that means is a lower, and I'm going to say this, and it sounds like condescending and derogatory but I am one of those developers. I am an iOS developer. I am an Android developer. But the lower barrier to entry on Android diminishes the quality. And I mean that sincerely. Like, when I set out developing Android, I don't need an Android device at all. It's not even required. And I can go all the way through and deploy to the Google Play Store. And I could do that using Windows Mobile, God forbid. Yeah. Never having touched an Android device before. I can't do that with Apple.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you an example of where open source destroys everyone else. Linux. So Linux has more developers, and even Microsoft is going to start running, Windows 11 is going to start running under a Linux kernel because it's far better. Because there's better developers and more developers. And yes, you have crappy developers there. But the more senior developers look over the code streams and you end up with a more quality product. Linux runs, 90% of data centers are now Linux?
Oh, yeah. And most IoT things. The Linux kernel runs on more devices than there are human beings.
Yeah, and I think that's what's happening with Android. I'm beginning to see the same trends.
That's interesting. Jason.
And this is a fabulous, politeful debate, and I love it.
Hey, Jason, before I forget,
Yeah.
I remembered what I forgot. what I was going to say an hour ago was that for Apple, like, for example, I can if I pull out my Apple computer, I can hook up a hard drive that's NTFS and still read it. My Windows computer, if I hook up a drive that's been formatted for Apple, I can't even read it. I mean, I can't read the data.
I see.
That's because it's proprietary.
Yeah.
It's a closed ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Apple, when you have an Apple, what I'm saying is you can read. You have access.
Yeah, wait. Somps, you're not helping our case right now. There's this friendly fucking fire. You know, I'm really sorry, but fucking AFS is not brilliant to begin with. AFS with journaling is an utter nightmare, and the fact that that's closed and nothing else fucking read, you're not helping us. It's not good.
I don't use AFS.
Yeah, compared to, EXTF4.
Or ZFS. Let's all go ZFS. There we go. A nice cataloging index. I like that. Yeah, I love it. Oh, virtual volumes in LVM. I love it.
Oh.
Tom, have you ever used an Android?
How long have you been developing?
I used the Android for a short time.
Oh, by the way, guys, I've used Android for wait a minute. I don't know, 8 years personally, and Apple about 10 years personally. So just
Android phone that you used.
Google
Pixel 6a.
Nice.
How long have you been developing Stingray?
Shit, I'm crap with dates actually. No. Well, no, I was an artist for a very, very long time and only later became a programmer. So programming, more than 9 years less than 18. It sits somewhere in there. I'd have to fucking work it out. I don't. Dates and times I'm shit with, but developing like computer games and things like that as an artist or a tech art lead or a pipeline specialist in tech art, a very long time, many decades. So part of big.
Let me turn on my cam.
What you can't? Oh, are you using Android? Yeah, that's a problem.
I was going to show you my first computer.
I know it screws. It screws up sometimes, Nixie. It's fine. It's just you have to deal with it.
Commodore 64.
Oh, nice.
So I assume you know what OpenSSL is?
Yes.
I was one of the first developers to work on it.
Oh, nice. Actually, that takes me back to if I was going to complain at. So here's the difference between developing with Android and Android and iOS. Let's say 7 years ago. So I think they just introduced the Swift programming language, and everybody was jumping on board with Swift, moving away from Objective-C on iOS, which was utterly disgusting. And obviously, Android is in full swing using Java and their Dalvik execution system on Android. Now, in order for me to write a basic I/O socket in Java on Android took like 20 lines, and I could define my own protocols and stuff. To do the same, and obviously using SSL and socket library, doing the same on Swift was not possible. Doing anything like that was not possible. I had to get a data stream, a piped data stream that I wrapped around a communication socket to even just start transmitting packets that weren't even ordered. I had to write my own ordering for TCP acknowledgement. You could not open a socket in Swift and just fucking send data to it with any kind of socket spec. It was utterly ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, it's changed a little bit now, but back then, and Android and Java, piece of piss. Swift, absolutely not.
I hate Java, by the way. I knew the
Java. I like Java.
I hate fucking Java. I'm a C++ bigot.
All right, no, that's fine. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Python then, and that's just lazy as shit. So.
I like Python because I develop it in Python, and then you take that prototype and then do it in C++ or C,
right, depending
on. But no, and I like Python because it can just call. I can use it as the wrapper around my C program.
So question for you then. Since we should be half on the panel, Windows, and I'm not going to say Mac because that's ridiculous. Windows or OS 10 or Mac OS?
Windows, because I'll run a VM so I can have Linux.
And I can't do that on a Mac operating system, can I not?
You can. You have to buy what is it? Parallel.
You don't have to. You can use VMbox.
But I mean, I've got VMware anyway, so I'm fine with that. So
VMware is a little better than Parallels.
Yeah. So yeah, I can do all that. The caveat being with the Apple Silicon is that I actually, if I want to do decent stuff, is run an ARM build of a Linux distro, which is not as easy sometimes as you would think, which is a bit weird, but I can still do that. So your entire argument that Windows is better is VM, right? So that you can run another operating system that isn't Windows. Is that correct, Nixie?
No, my entire argument of why Windows 11 is better is because I can run I can run Linux native.
Okay, but I can run.
It has
Linux.
a Linux kernel now in it.
Oh, you mean Windows 11 has a Linux kernel in it?
Yes. You don't even have to run a VM, but you can set up a VM accessing the kernel VM so you get kernel speed.
But why wouldn't you just? And that's not through like. So wait a minute. Does that mean like what is it? The VM. What is it? VMD on the CPU is irrelevant then. So because it doesn't need to do any virtualization. That's weird. I didn't know that in Windows. But so here's a question. By the way, I do use Windows every now and then. I use it to play games on, obviously. But my question there is why? So the main advantage. Let me get this straight. The main advantage of Windows is being able to natively run the kernel of another operating system to execute another operating system. Is that correct?
So you can do cross. So I can literally copy and paste or share sockets between Windows 11 and the native kernel, the Linux kernel. They're both running on the same CPU at the same time, and it's not a VM window.
Right. Okay. So this is still all about virtualization, though. So this isn't general computing like user. And I don't disagree with you that Windows in that respect would be better, especially with Apple Silicon, which has gone actually further away from being able to do any kind of decent virtualization reliably. But that's not kind of an average user centric. I'm going to say niche, right?
Yeah. So if you want to go to the gaming user, you can get a far more powerful machine with far better graphics card for far less money on Windows. So
that's a hardware thing, though, right? We can get onto Mac versus PC, but Mac OS versus Windows is a different kind of proposition, right?
Yeah.
No, because I can't run Tomb Raider on the highest specs on a Mac piece of hardware, even with 10 grand, but I can for 4 grand on a Windows. It doesn't matter the OS. The OS can't handle the hardware can't handle the game.
By the way, I mean, oh my god, I'm going to sound snobbish now. Wait a minute. How do I not sound snobbish? Wait a minute. Give me a second.
You can't. You're British.
Oh well, wait a minute. If this is my default state, then yeah, fuck it. So I had a £26,000 Mac Pro 28 core, of which I had I think it was about a $4,000 AMD card in there, and it would run Tomb Raider. It really would. It might have cost my company upwards of about $30,000 but my God, did it run Tomb Raider? I'm just saying. So your statement wasn't entirely correct.
Why did it cost $30,000?
Okay, so I don't have access to $30,000.
Well, now you're just stating disadvantageous, things about yourself. Why did it cost that? The base cost of the machine itself was about $22,000, and then we did upgrades on it, so it turned out about $30,000.
Nice.
It was basically
game.
Yeah.
You have one choice: win the lottery or go Windows.
Well, I hate to be an asshole, but that did sound like two choices. But anyway. And when I say I hate to be an asshole, I mean it doesn't bother me in the slightest, is what I meant to say. So yeah, I mean, yeah, from a user standpoint. So from a gaming standpoint, again, I'm not going to disagree with you. I was a games developer for 18 years, and the one thing that we didn't say is, "Fuck me, this better work on a Mac." So I'm with you on that. But what we're doing now is I've just asked you questions where you're giving me correct answers for why Windows is better. It just is. Do you want a list of why Mac is better?
If you're an average user and you don't want a game and you want it really simple, and you're never going to use a command prompt, get a Mac.
So the command prompt thing, Nixie, have you ever used a Mac?
Yes.
So you do know that it uses Berkeley Systems kernel development, but extended by Apple. So the BSD kernel built from Unix is the one that powers the Mac operating system. And you know that not a command prompt like in Windows, but a terminal like in Linux and Unix exists with full access to do anything you want, including like installing homebrew libraries and package managers within the Mac operating system, right?
Correct, but I said average user who doesn't want access to command prompt because they don't need it.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought you meant it was absent in some way, but that's fine. No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that. I went into defensive mode. I didn't fucking need to. Right. Okay. That's fine. So, okay. So here we go. So why is it better? So, because of the admittedly tight integration with Apple hardware, they can do a lot more with a lot less in very specific respects. One of those is video stream encoding and decoding. So the inbuilt acceleration, even on the modest Mac, can open, let's say, 3 4K streams of, let's say, chroma sampling of what you call 422. That's not possible on a comparative laptop. And then we're talking about a modest MacBook here. A comparative Windows laptop, to be able to do that, it would be a disproportionate cost increase. It really would.
I agree.
I agree. Now, in interfacing with that video from the numerous apps using what you call core video is a dream compared to the myriad of bullshit things that you'd have to go through with Windows Media libraries, which makes more advanced editing features available on a Mac. And not only that, those editing features that now use Apple Silicon with the inbuilt machine learning cores allow incredible filters from things like Photoshop, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve that do astonishing things on what is in effect a low-powered processor. And I shit you not, an M3 Apple, an M3 Ultra, Pro Ultra is so far. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Give up. Bloody solve this issue. An M3 can process, can do things per watt that is unrivaled on anything else. So if you're having to edit video, if you're doing a vlog, if you're doing graphics editing, you want a capable machine, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and my God, you want the battery to last because you're commuting a lot of time, get a Mac. It's that simple. If you're an audio engineer, go on.
Yeah, I was going to add, if you're music or audio, get a Mac.
Yeah. Video, audio, definitely get a Mac. If you're a developer that wants to be incredibly broad spectrum and encompass all languages, all compilers, and have full support, I'm going to have to say get a Mac. And it's a bit of a cheat. It's a bit of a cheat.
No. Here's the thing. It depends on what you're developing.
No, I'm saying everything. I want access to everything. I don't want to be limited.
Okay, so I want you to develop AI on 4090 cards, 4080 cards, because you're doing serious AI. You're deep into.
I'm really sorry, Professor. We both know that my corporate Google Cloud compute with the ability to fire up an incredible amount of GPUs would be responsible for doing that. I wouldn't touch it locally. However, if I did, let's say I wanted for some reason to use a tiny shitty little 4080 compared to the mass array of GPUs that I can fire up in the cloud dynamically, then I could just get an external GPU box. I've had them before.
But this is where I'm going to just say, pick the right tool for the right job. And I think Apple has some great, if you're doing generic programming, I think you're fine with either box. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing Linux or you're doing serious AI, you're going to want Linux, and you're going to want, because you want to run it local before you suck the CPU power and the check comes into your Google Cloud. You can run it on a 4080 and find out if you got it right before you pay the money to scale.
Yeah, but on my test segment, I have a price cap. So even if I do screw up, which I don't, by the way, or haven't yet. Wait a minute, let me touch something. Shit, Jesus, touch something. Yeah,
Thank you for the debate, my friend. I'm going to drop down and go live and do a Q&A, but I'll agree to disagree with you and agree with you and disagree with you.
That's fine. I do the same. See you later. Have a good day.
Take care, my friend.
And there we go, Professor Nixie running away like the chicken he is after after a thorough thrashing.
Yeah, you had to wait till
Please have left the chat. Please have left the chat. Please have, oh, there we go. No, he didn't. I'm going to say no. Yeah, no, he was still there. I was hoping that he was still there, actually. No, I do like that. But like I say, I could adequately argue for either. I really could. Of any of those, I can tell you 20 different things of why Windows is better. I mean, even the bastardized piece of shit DirectX, which is such a mess, has far more capability than any graphics APIs that Apple has introduced, even with Metal. It's still so far behind. So, but then again, I love using a Mac. It's so fucking simple. And with my parents, they don't call me every day anymore now that I bought them Macs and iPhones, which is, I mean, that must save me. Let's say I die in 40 years' time. Me buying them a Mac and iPhones has probably saved me already years of my life. That's just getting better and better, right?
It's funny you said that because I think it was 2 days ago that I read a comment here on TikTok. Someone said iPhones or Apple devices in general are made for one, old people or women.
Nice.
Or who?
So now that you say that, it saves you a lot of time because you bought your parents Macs and iPhones.
Yes.
So then the comment is actually half true at least.
Yeah, no, I do like that. I've just figured out that after a certain amount of time, things start failing on OBS and TikTok Live. I've noticed that.
Oh, you have OBS?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is this scene at the moment is an OBS scene piped through a virtual camera, so I've got full control in OBS to set up anything I want and share anything that I want, unlike TikTok Studio. However, my transition now is screwed for some reason, which is
you gotta reboot your device. I had that problem the other day, I think.
Wait a minute, let me just try this. Let me just try and restart OBS because I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I can do this. So now we have Android. Oh yeah, no, now we're back. Now I can do all of this shit. Yeah. We're all good. We're all good. There we go. Lovely rotating globe. All good.
Stingray.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So I'm gonna not talk about flat Earth and not talk about Android versus iOS now. So if everybody wants to fuck off to somewhere else, that is absolutely fine. But no, Somps, I've got 10 minutes to dedicate to you if you want to ask me any Blender questions. Not that I'm a Blender fucking person, by the way. I'm not.
What I'm gonna have to do is download the latest Blender because I haven't messed with it in probably about a year to year and a half.
Right.
Was the last time I messed with it. I'll go on in spurts. Now where I get suffocated is when we go into the materials lab, and also when simple materials and things like that I'm good with, but when you're going to do more complex things, that's where I get suffocated. But also like the NURBS and stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I wouldn't, you know what NURB stands for?
What's that?
Non-uniform rational B-splines. But you actually, and believe it or not, this is a weird thing. You never want to work with non-rational uniform B-splines. You always want rational B-splines, and the difference between the two is the parameterization over the chord length. But anyway, either or, I wouldn't say mess with NURBS in Blender. It's very not required. Just use Bezier curves, and then a nice subdivision surface would suffice. The only times you would ever choose NURBS is if you wanted a infinitely dense parametric surface. So an example there is, and you'd have to set it up to be the tessellation that you'd want over the amount of time driven by something. So an example is on a Bezier curve, I have a certain number of divisions in between control points, whereas on a NURBS curve, I can have an infinite number of points derived on that curve based on distance to it. But no one ever needs that these days. So I would say stay away from NURBS. It's not a good NURBS tool set in this anyway.
Okay.
If you were going to do NURBS, I'd say use Maya, because Maya or Rhino actually, believe it or not, implement the same NURBS toolkit. Because when Rhino first came out, and everybody thought, "Whoa, look at this as a parametric modeler," the first thing Alias Wavefront at the time did was say, let me license that technology and get source code. And they paid a massive fee for it. And they were the only 3D graphics company to do so, which meant that the implementation of NURBS in Maya was utterly astonishing, but it came from Rhino.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, Blender's not great at it.
So if I want to create a blob that I want to be able to, let's make it easy, shapeshift into a worm.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know how to do. I don't do morphing in this. I absolutely don't do morphing.
Okay.
I never have. Again, in Maya, I was an authorized Autodesk instructor, so I could tell you. But in this, I would have no idea. I wouldn't be able to help you on that, unfortunately.
So when you're applying your textures to your devices, if it's a simple like box or sphere or something, that's easy enough. But let's say we want to do a barrel, for example, or something like that.
Well, this is actually already laid out, so let's not do that. That's actually already laid out. So we want a barrel.
If I want to create a barrel with the slats.
Sorry, with slat. You mean? All right, yeah. I kind of get you. So let's say we have loop cut and slide. Where the fuck is loop cut and slide? Loop cut and slide. We go there. We'll have one there. We'll have one here. In fact, I should have done that. So let's do that because that's ridiculous. See, I forget how to use this sometimes. So let's do that, but just leave them there. I'll show you something else that's quite cool, actually. If you, the soft selection tools on Blender are quite cool. So if I want to bow this out slightly, So if I go and get this, I just want to scale it, but I want to scale it out proportionally, right? Mm-hmm. Up here, you've got soft selection. Oh shit! Wait a minute. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let me share my screen rather than this. This is what OBS gives me, is ability to do this, which is quite cool. Right, so up here you've got the soft selection thing, and you've got what kind of attenuation fall off there is, and along with your size. So at the moment it's checked to 1 meter. So now if I do that, can you see how it bulges out all of it? They're so handy to do stuff like that. It really is. But then what do we want? We want, and another thing that I'll just show you really quickly is, I'm not used to this because this is a Max based thing. Max as in 3D Studio Max. But because I hate modifiers, I'm very node based in Maya. This is just weird to me. But in the generators now, just doing something like solidify, and then altering the thickness of whatever these are going to be, along with even thickness, is like extruding it along the normal, but keeping equidistant space between the inside and the outside faces. That's actually geometrically more complex than you might think. But now, if I've got this and I want to texture it in the UV texture editor, I can. Wait a minute, I'll show you one other trick actually, because this is annoying this. So you'll notice here, if I want to select all the faces, I select them all. That's how it should be, right? I've not selected anything. Now, by default, if I select these, I don't select them. And that's annoying. Now, the way that you cheat it is on this panel, you set it to madcap or something like that. Come down to X-ray, and X-ray will be set to like this. Don't
Yeah.
set it to X-ray, but set it to be fully opaque, which now means when you select all of them, they are all selected. And then the best thing to do at that is go to File, Defaults, and save a startup file with that already there. So it's brilliant that you can set up the user interface and the little preferences and then just go to File, Defaults, save the startup file. Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
You can't see that a little bit, won't it? There we go. Yeah. So File, Defaults, save the startup file. And it just makes life so much easier. I haven't done that much UV unwrapping in this, but there are, again, here's an interesting thing. I can't see the view toggles now, right? To change this back to madcap, so that, or whatever type of shading. But the radial menus in Blender are awesome. If I press Z, I've got that exact same menu. So I can go to Material Preview, I can go to Rendered View, or I can go to Shade Smooth, Wireframe, or Shade Flat. So you can actually just use this radial menu to choose whatever viewport shading that you want, which is pretty cool. And that's just holding down Z. And this is on a PC, by the way, at the moment, because obviously TikTok Studio only runs on a PC. So, but yeah, anyway, per vertex information is what we want here, or per face. But in the mapping, you've got a lot of options to be able to sort of like automatically do this as well. So you could do things like cube projections, cylindrical projections, spherical projections. But here, if I'm unwrapping this and I want both the inside and out, oh, look at that. That's just awesome. I could just do Smart UV Project, which means it's going to say, oh, well, I'm going to have a go at laying this out for you. I could do something quite interesting, which is where, well, actually, I want the inside and outside to be slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in face mode with nothing selected, I'm going to Alt and Shift the edge to take these rings, which is all I'm doing right now. So that now I get the outside as a segment. And then I can go here and just say, well, actually, a cylindrical projection or a cylindrical map would be best for these. Wait a minute, let's have a look. Project from view, sphere projection, cube projection. Oh, you can actually just go unwrap as well, by the way. I totally forgot about that. So if you had all of these selected, let's go to them. Actually, believe it or not, a good shortcut is Control and Plus, is it? Or is it, wait a minute. Oh, no, not on a PC. Shit. Select, increase. Well, we can select all, but I want to increase them. Where's increase? Or is it expand? Oh, more, less, more. Control numpad plus. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a numpad on thing. Yeah, so it's good to be able to do nice, like, quick selections of things.
Okay. Which
is pretty cool with shortcuts and stuff. Now, I've just realized something that I'm doing here. It's not selecting the inside faces because there are none, because we're still on a modifier. But on the unwrap or the Smart UV Project, this should give you a good, if you're laying things out for a game, this should give you a good indication. And then you've got tools whereby you can come in here and select these and then join them together. I've not done UV mapping that much in Blender. But what you tend to do is lay them out along a radial line, so that you can texture them, and it depends on your texturing strategy. So, for instance, if I was doing this for a game, I would potentially want unique space all the way around. If I'm doing it for a visualization, all I would want is something like, well, just 1 or 2 planks or 3 planks, and then I'd tile them all the way around, and then I'd have one difference map that kind of differentiates it, that just wraps around like a noise map or Perlin noise or something, just to add a bit of difference. Okay. But it actually depends on what the strategy is for the wood that I'm going to have here. The one thing that I will say, oh yeah, and this is a downside of Blender, by the way. The shade auto smooth, the shade smooth, and the shade flat. The auto smooth is a max thing, and it's based off what you call shading groups, which is utterly fucking ridiculous, because what this is actually controlling is per vertex normals, but you don't actually have access to them in Blender, and this is why Blender's shit. Now, what you can do is if we go down to the geometry, is it? And then go to normals. Yeah, so this is the auto smooth. And at the moment it's set to 30. If I set this higher, it means that any edges less than this will garage shade over, progressively shade over. So I can tell this is 90. So if I set this up to above 90, you see that they just flick over like it's shading them. It's just saying, these are now not two independent vertices up and that way. They're now just one that's pointed out like 45 degrees. That's all that's happening there for it to do that. That's a bit ridiculous. I would say the UV mapping, I've not really done much in Blender on UV mapping, but the one thing that I will say is the plugins that you can get for Blender are utterly astonishing. So an example there would be if I'll pull up the side panel and show you what I've got. So I've got Extreme PBR. Now, what this is, I paid for this, and I've downloaded like all the maps of like 8K and 20K, and it's like the maps are fucking like 40 gig or something. But what it reminds me to what it lets me do is I can pick a type of thing. So let's say metal raw, and then I can go along and pick any of these and say, okay, well, apply that to this. And then I can work out, it's just so simple to do. And this is what you call a PBS spec compliant material, which is just physical based rendering, which is what PBR stands for, by the way. All it means is that the parameters and the values for those parameters are based in physical relationships rather than some arbitrary fucking number, which means PBS and PBR spec compliant assets should be, and that's in air quotes, interchangeable between any 3D graphics rendering software. And they should maintain, exactly how they look, as in roughness, specularity, all that kind of stuff. But it's just so...
How much was that plugin?
Oh, wait a minute. Let's have a look. This was Blender Market. Let's have a look at what I bought, shall we? I'm just going to have a look for you. Let's go to... Oh, no, I'm not in on this thing. Wait a minute. Let me just search for it because I haven't signed in a while. This would be all products, and we will search for PBR. So Extreme PBR, it depends which one you buy. It's anywhere from $29 to $89. But there are loads of variants that you can get that all pretty much do the same thing. For instance, there's 99 PBR materials here. Yes, it might not come with a... Oh, no, it comes with a browser as well. Fucking hell. Yeah, so, I mean, this is $6 for 4K PBS spec or PBR spec materials, which means you get the albedo, you get the specular or roughness, you get the transmission, you get the normal maps, and they all compound together to create something that looks visually real when it's rendered.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. It's just not worth creating your own textures anymore, if I'm being honest, unless it's incredibly specialized.
So, and you're in the Blender market for this.
Yeah. Blender market. But what I was going to say is I'm not familiar with the UV tools in Blender, and they don't look brilliant from me just using them then. However, I have seen, if we search here for UV, I have seen some amazing tools shown in Blender that allow you to unwrap organic things in one click. Yeah. Now, this is a method called, well, it used to be a method called, very early on, a SIGGRAPH paper was published by Manax Entertainment just shortly after the first Matrix film came out. And it described a process whereby which you can dynamically unwrap a mesh to create very little distortion, and they named it pelt mapping. The reason they named it pelt mapping was they created a circular hula hoop ring. They created a seam in the geometry, and then they assigned physics properties to each vertex, and then let that circular ring pull it out flat like a hunter's pelt, and then did a projection on it. and that's now implemented in these algorithms for very quick unwraps, which is wicked. But the originating thing of this was the Matrix films, and Mannix Entertainment were utterly, they were just gods at that time. They really were.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I wanted to ask you something really quick. On you've done iOS games or apps, I should say. Right?
Apps, yeah, never a game on iOS. Although I do want to do a game. I mean, I've got a game in the works for iOS, but no, I haven't done very much work on it.
So, how difficult would it be to make a like a medication monitoring app?
What, with specific hardware, or just like
basically with my iPhone or iPad, I want to be able to bring up an app and just be able to key in my medications, myself, put them in, make the list, and dictate, how often I take them.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And then when I like if I take my medication, I go in and I choose the ones that I took at a certain time. And it puts in, when I do that, it puts in the time and date that I did that. And it'll also tell me when I can take them the next time.
You see, I mean, what? So who curates and the dosage and times on that? Because the issue is in saying that it's a medical tracking app, there's some manner of liability there.
Okay. Well, it's what the doctor gives you on your prescription, and basically you should be able to go into the app and put in all the data that the doctor gives you. So basically this is something so you can keep track. Like as I've gotten older, my memory's gone to crap. And I created an app through Glide. I didn't create it myself. I had help with it from somebody in Glide. Are you familiar with Glide apps?
I am not, no.
There's they're supposed to, what their deal was before originally was if you design something in Google Sheets or whatever, you can process that through their Glide app interface and it'll turn it into an app, but it didn't work very well with mine. And so I had some help and I made a simple little interface to where I can put in my medication.
Right.
And, every time I take my meds, I choose which ones I just took. And then if I need to go back and look, did I take this? How many times did I take it last month or whatever? I can go back and look. So I have that, but it's very simple.
Oh, right. Yeah. No. I mean, an app like that on iOS. So depending on the data complexity, which seems incredibly simple, it very, very easy to do in something called Swift UI, which is a Swift compliant UI layout and interaction language. It seems very simple. The hardest, put it this way, the implementation time on that, I would expect a third-party developer, even an Indian company, an outsourcing company, to be able to do inside of, 3 or 4 days if the specification and implementation plan of it was predetermined by yourself.
Right.
So these are the data models. This is what I want to see. These are the screens. This is what it needs to do. This is how it's laid out. If all of those are done, my God, is that simple?
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't expect an iOS developer to spend more than a week on anything like that.
Okay.
All that.
I was curious.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard of a game called Dope Wars?
Dope Wars? No.
Yeah. I found it way back in the early 2000s, I think, if not late 90s.
What the hell is Dope Wars?
It's a little game where, and I didn't like that it was using like dope, like like cocaine and heroin and
Oh,
all kinds
wow.
of.
Okay. I didn't know it was that.
So
So
wait,
basically, it was
so
kind of
I
like
was
you
kidding,
have
man.
30 days to um, buy and sell, and you're given $2,000, and the whole point is trying to expand how much money you make in 30 days.
Right.
And so cocaine is valuable, like 16,000 is its normal rate, but it can go up to 28 or 30 on if you get lucky. So
Right.
each day the values of what each one is worth changes, goes up and down. What I was wanting to do at some point was make a game just like that, but use like grocery materials instead of drugs. Like instead of cocaine, you have milk.
Yeah.
Milk is $16,000.
Where are Jason? I'm imagining her playing this dope game and absolutely winning. That's what I was doing with Aloy. But I'm glad you recognize that it's Aloy that I'm fucking with here. But yes, this is dope winning Aloy.
When I said drug wars, I was actually just kidding, but I had no idea it was actually about drugs.
Yeah, it was it was created really simply and fun, but it was all about trading drugs, and I wanted to change it to
Someone said
material.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I don't know what would have to happen for her eyes to point in different directions like that. That's like retina detachment right there. That's not going to heal overnight. I'm telling you.
Isn't that the thing nowadays? Girls that can move their eyes like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's just wrong. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah. No, Blender's quite good. There you go. Subsurface scattering on the skin.
Well, I'm gonna download the latest version. When it first came out, I was always keeping up with it, but
where I think Jason's just like really got off on one.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Look at that. She's still looking at you with one eye. Look at that. She's just looking at you.
I'm reading the comments.
Yes. Yeah, that's a regular flat Earth look. No, wait a minute. This is what happens when a flat earther tries to explain how a sunset happens. I should do memes like this with different characters, shouldn't I, really? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Anyway. Let's put something more joyful up. But anyway, guys, Soms, hit me up on Discord if you want any Blender advice that I can give. But like I say, Blender is not my tool of choice for anything except silly little flat Earth demonstrations. If I were to get seriously into 3D graphics again, it would be Maya, because I know Maya inside and out. I do not know Blender inside and out.
Yeah, back when I was going to school, they were using 3D Max and then Maya. But later when I retired, the income's not so great. Blender was free.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Blender. It depends what you do. For 90% of the time, I love Blender. I absolutely do. But if I want to do anything a bit more advanced outside of flat Earth, depending on what it is, I mean, don't get me wrong. Wait a minute. I'll show you something else really quickly. I mean, fucking hell, I've done.
Maya is a couple bucks though.
Well, back when I used to use it commercially, it was £28,000 per license. But wait a minute, and that's pounds, not dollars, by the way. So let's just have a look at this. I'll show you just something that I quickly did. I think I've still got it somewhere. Blender. Personal printer things. No, where is it? It's projects somewhere. Where's projects? I'll find it. No, I'll show you. So I created a ducting system for my workshop that also. So I do 3D printing, right? Here we go. Projects. So yeah. So what I've done, I'm going to have to swap this over. What I've done is I've created multiple ducting segments and different prototype designs for quick locking things for like my extraction ducts in my workshop to cool prints and to do like this here is a quick locking system for hoses, so I can disconnect hoses to, like, I've got a ventilation system, I've got a roof ventilation system, I've got a vat ventilation system, but I've also got a spray booth, and I don't fancy having loads of holes in my fucking wall to pipe all of them out. So I just have one hole, and I have these quick detach things with these little rings on, so that I can shove this into a wall and then just rotate one of these and it locks it on.
Okay.
So Blender's fantastic for doing like 3D printing stuff like this. It really is.
Okay.
And I've done it for like pipe joins and all that kind of stuff. And then, but if you were to ask me, create Aloy, create a T-Rex, or do something like that, and then animate it, rig it, I'm afraid that's Maya for me. Or if you were to even say UV unwrap something, I know Maya's tools inside and out. I do not know Blender's, but I know that to get close to Maya, I would need plugins. But that's a powerful thing about Blender is plugins. You can just download loads of plugins for everything you want. So get this. This is what I couldn't do in Maya. So let's see if I can do this right now. I couldn't simply say, I want a new scene. I want a flat plane. On this flat plane, I want let's add light, but let's add sunlight, which is cool. So sunlight that accurately represents the sun. Now let's go and get a real tree. And let's just say, I'll have one of those, please. Just get me a tree. Now, this tree might not seem like much. And this ground might not seem like much. And if we render it with with the light over here, and we'll have the light pointing that way. But if we actually render it and ray trace it, when it loads in the texture, and if I switch to cycles, give me a second, back to cycles, it doesn't look bad. But then to do simple things with this, and it renders so quickly in cycles, it's astonishing.
Yeah, cycles is great.
But no, let's select this now and just say, fucking give me some snow, because I want a summer scene. Sorry, a winter scene. So now, no, I got that bit wrong. That was my flat Earth dirt kicking in there. But I can add procedural snow to any of this, and I can add. I don't know why it's taking that long. Actually, there's something a bit freaky about this. It's probably because I'm rendering it. Actually, I should have not done this while having it render. Yes, it may have frozen Blender on an AMD with an astronomical amount of cores. It may. Well, I bet it's not using all the cores, actually. How the hell in Windows? Oh, is that it? How do you... Yeah. Yeah, that's not great. So 16 cores, and it's not even using one fully. Awesome. Well, yeah, Blender's shit.
So what are you using to see your cores?
Oh, just Task Manager. But wait a minute. Yeah, there is... but you can separate these. Oh, logical processing units. Ah, right. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so look at all this empty processing space. Although, believe it or not, all of these can't be maxed out because of voltage regulation and temperature throttle and thermal design limits, but they should be a lot more than this. Yeah, I think I may have just broken Blender, to be fair. Let me close that again. But I was actually just going to show you some of the plugins that I bought personally. Wait a minute, I have to go here. Blender, just piss off. There we go. Let's start Blender again because it should be quite quick. Yeah, some of the things that I bought because I'm going to prototype pre-visual effects on a script that I wanted to write. That I'm having written for a short film. So I needed to be able to do like prototyping. So I just bought myself a number of plugins. One of those, let's just do a plane again. And let's add the snow before I tell it to render. So you've seen the extreme PBR stuff. Yeah. I've got this real snow where the height is that, and if I've selected it, I should be able to just add real snow, and it should. Oh my god! Or is it this that's got the problem? Oh no! Wait a minute. Did it work? It seems to have finished. Yes, there we go. So this generated like snow, which I'll show you in a second. I've also got some Boolean print edit tools, some other 3D printing tools. I've got a virtual camera, which is awesome. I've got Treesy, which is just a simple tree thing, which I think I showed you. Wait a minute, let's just make that a little bit like so. I've got, easy fog as well, so I can fog this up, which is pretty amazing. If I switch to a view whereby this starts doing some shit, and then hopefully, there we get the snow, and then I can render it, and then I can go to cycles, and then this should render quite lovely. You know, just putting a snowscape together. I mean, even if I select this tree, believe it or not, if I go to, I'm going to do this now and it's going to die, but let's say the coverage is not 100% on this tree, it's 30. And then I say add snow. Guess what? My tree now has snow clumps in it. So, you know, to do stuff like this is so fucking easy. It's like, why would I ever spend time doing this if I can just spend $10 on a fucking plugin and do something that would take me like 3 days to do in a fraction of a second?
Right.
And the amount of plugins that are really comprehensive, like terrain generators, all this kind of stuff, that's where Blender gets its strength. That's where it will outsell Maya. Maya being a big corporate entity, the best at what it does, will eventually be surpassed by the jack of all trades that can do some things amazingly well. And like I say, with the let's get rid of this for 2 seconds. And oh no, wait a minute. Let's not get rid of the light. Let's just get rid of the box. With that easy fog as well. So on easy fog, I've got all of these. I can pull in all kinds of different effects to just make this scene look pretty fucking delicious, to be fair. So this is now fogging it up, but I can change the density of the fog so that it's like just eerie, misty on the ground. Yeah. And this is a proper volume effect as well. So it's and then I can combine this as well with this. So I can say, fuck it, let's have a magic Christmas tree that just has some amazing volume stuff that changes over time. Yeah, for doing stuff like this, it's so bastard amazing and simple. There was one other thing that I was going to show you as well, which is pretty amazing and simple. And that's, what was it that I was going to show you? Oh yeah, I've got a big VDB library as well. So I can say, hey, put in a huge explosion for me into my snow scene. That's just
and which one is that?
This is Easy Fog 2.
For the explosion?
Oh yeah, for all of these.
Oh wow.
And I can have clouds as well. So we have nice clouds. And
did you get that one in the Blender Market?
Yeah.
You get everything through the Blender Market.
Yeah. Do all of that. But I mean, just even for volumetric clouds, it's pretty decent. But I mean, you can actually download. I've got loads of VDB libraries of explosions, clouds, and everything external to this. The only difference is this makes it easy to add things, whereas if I don't, I have to come in. I have to go like this. I have to say, hey, well, create a volume wherever the fuck that is. Wait a minute, mesh. Is it a mesh? No, it'll be a curve. Volume. Jesus Christ. Import open VDB thing, and then I can go off to one of my resources. Let's have a look. Archive. No, let's go up. Library. Blender. VBS. Yeah, so here we go. I've got loads of things. So I could say Dust Devil. And I think if I select all of these and say import, I think, I don't know what size this is. Let's just have a look. Yep, dimensions of this are pretty much nothing. So that's interesting. I have to go to a frame where it's going to start. So this is actually pulling off my network, which is a 10 gigabit network, but it's still not good enough to like render in real time. But these VBS files, where are we? Oh, it's that big. These VBS files are motion files of tornadoes and all sorts of crazy shit. But you can get these for free as well. They're just a standard file format. They're nothing to do with Blender, by the way. If we want to see this, I think I have to do that just to pre-visit a little bit, and then I can render it. But yeah, so this thing now, I'll get rid of the snow for now. Actually, we don't need it. But this thing now, if I have a light source in here, so let's go get that and move it out, but then tell this to be the sun, I'm guessing. Yeah, let's be the sun, and let's have the sun going that way, and the sun is, that'll do. Yeah. So if I play this now, can you see how it's animating?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is. I need to run it through to cache it, but this creates like amazing vortices and things that. But because I pulled it in and not used a library, what I now have to do in the VBS library is there's attributes to each one of these points in here, and I have to let's say I have to link density to actually what it is. Actually, this is a shit example. Wait a minute. I'll do another example for you where it has two things. Let's have a look. So if I go to my store, library, Blender, VBS, let's pick something that's got a fireball on it. Oh, fire plume. There we go. Fire plume. Grab all of this. Yeah, so we'll just grab all of this. Now, what's cool about what the difference between using a library and not is now that I brought this in there, and this is meant to be a fire plume, by the way. It doesn't look like a fire plume at the moment, and it doesn't because the attributes assigned to this from a material standpoint don't correspond to the densities or tags. So, for instance, there's two things here. There's flames and density, and they're at the moment equal. But because this was pre-baked, and I mean, I don't know whether you know what Houdini is, but Houdini is one of the best volumetric. Yeah. Right. So you can bake VDB. You can bake, VDB files out of Houdini and get them into here, and it'll output density and flames. So density will be the smoke, and flames will be absolutely something else. And what you can do is you can set up different materials for what these would be like. So I've got a new material here right now, and I have to assign it an attribute. So if I get to this here, I know that there's two attributes: density and flames. So if I in materials, if I go to, I forgot how to do this now. If I go to this and make it like dark, and then this is going to be tied to, I think it's automatically tied to density, to be fair. No. Yeah, there we go. No. Let's not make it that dense, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so that's the density portion, and then now I can go to the flames portion and then assign something to it that's different. So actually I could do it on the same material, so density, but yeah, so what is it called? What's the thing called? Flames. Yeah, so I have to typecast it, so I have to actually type flames here as the attribute. And then in the flames, I can increase the temperature and then start decreasing, I'm guessing, the density, and then see if I can make flames come through. Wait a minute, let's have a look. But yeah, so you see how I'm faffing around to try and make, to couple a shader up to connect to different attributes. The brilliant thing about, even though these are freeware, you have to do this to make them look good and work. Whereas the ones in the Easy Fog 2 are just drag and drop, generate, and that's it.
Okay, that kind of makes it worth it.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Oh, God,
what are the pounds to dollars about? I'm not looking for exact, but
I don't know, but you'll get it for a hell of a lot cheaper than I paid for it because of the exchange rate and the fact that Blender Market is a US based thing, I think. So. Okay. So a lot less, about less than in dollars. What did we say? It was, well, that library that I showed you that was like $6. That's what it was, $6. I think I pay in dollars. Okay. Yeah, so it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all.
I've gotten a few freebies, and when you retire, you really have to watch the pocketbook.
Well, hopefully I'm quite a while away from that yet.
Mine was kind of forced.
Yeah, I know. I remember you saying.
So it, didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah, this is. There we go.
If you want to see something, that I put together, been about a few days on. I uploaded it, not to Up Thunder, not to Sons of Thunder, but to What Are You Thinking? Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. What is that? What you got another channel, have you, on that?
Yeah, I've got one that's called What Are You Thinking?
All right, yeah, I don't think I've seen that. You have to message me. Yeah. Anyway, after all of this, I've finally sorted out fucking flame and smoke, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, but this is free, but obviously takes a little bit of fucking around to connect up attributes and shader parameters, and then figure out, oh, well, hang about, that was too dense, and blah, blah, blah. So you got to get kind of relative stance on, you got to have a good handle on what things are to sort of like connect them up rather than just randomly going around. Whereas the plugins just make it so goddamn easy. So here's the thing. For me to produce this, I'd have to go into Houdini. I'd have to fuck around with GOP SOP network and create a fluid simulation while doing viscosity, density, temperature, add multiple containers, set up a shading network, get the output they want, output it to a VDB file, import it into Blender, reset up all the thing, or I could just download a plugin that costs like $6 and press go. How cool is that?
Yeah.
It's so fucking goddamn convenient. It really is.
Yeah. Now, are you in proficient with After Effects?
I think After Effects is the biggest bag of shit on the planet. I will use Final Cut and DaVinci Resolve any day, and I was a Shake user back in visual effects days, and then a Nuke user in compositing. No actual compositor would ever use After Effects. Just saying.
Yeah. The only reason why I've gotten or used After Effects was because I'd gotten.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh no, Embergen. Yeah, but that's expensive, right? Jesus Christ, is that not like $400 or $500?
Well, for After Effects, I had gotten Video Copilot.
All right, okay.
And so I was using, and there was something specific they had that I wanted, and so I had gotten that, and that's what I use in After Effects.
Wait a minute. Where's Jason? You're still up here.
Yeah.
I'm still up here.
Wait a minute. You're still up here taking the piss out. I'm not reading the chat while being in the live reading the chat. How fucking ridiculous is that? Why didn't you just say, "Hey, Stingray, look at the chat"? Wouldn't that have been easier rather than joining in with people taking the piss out of me not reading the chat? That's fucking weird, right?
You were busy. That's why I was explaining to him that you're too busy with Blender, so you're not reading the chat.
Okay.
But yeah, he was trying to tell you stuff.
Right. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know why I'm letting someone else up here, but
Alive!
Oh Jesus.
Yes!
Okay.
What's up, man?
All right. You got a 190 Merc, have you?
I do, yes.
Nice.
It's fire. Just like your painting. My mate wants to speak to you. You're his idol.
Is this Blender?
This is Blender, yeah. Why, what's up?
What are we making on Blender?
Oh, nothing. I used Blender to show how ridiculous Flat Earth is, and at the end of it now is just answering a few questions.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay, he seems a bit excited.
Well, have a lovely night, mate.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Oh, by the way, Stingray.
I'm gonna drop out too.
All right, cool.
Nice talking to you, Jason.
Yeah, nice talking to you too.
So
later.
See ya.
One time when I just as soon as I opened up TikTok, I was in a Flat Earth deal. And I didn't really want to be there, but I heard him say something that was preposterous. So I decided to jump in. But they all know you.
They all know me, do they?
Yeah, but they talk about how your model is crap and this and that.
Of course they do.
And I'm like, no, not really.
They also say other ridiculous things like he's only in it for the money. Where I repeatedly say on lives, do not give me money. I do not need any money at all. But no, I'm definitely in it for the money. And they say, models just don't work. They don't work at all, except they work every single time. Now, one party has been incredibly dishonest there. It's up to the audience to decide who the fuck that would be.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you knew who Rick Husband was, but he was a shuttle pilot.
Nope.
You remember Columbia when it exploded on reentry?
Oh yeah.
He was the pilot, and we grew up kind of together. He was 9.5 years older than me, but wait a
minute. I have got denoise in the. Look at this. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Oh, in the viewport. Shit. No, fuck. No, you might be right. Shit. Okay. Fair enough. I didn't know that it wasn't on, for fuck's sake. In fact, actually, wait a minute. So that brings up a very important point. Let's go turn it on in the default fucking file like that, and then save the fucking default. There you go. It's on forever now. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Oh shit! No, wait a minute. Device, GPU, compute. Because I've got a very decent graphics. Get fucking Defaults, save startup file. There we go. It's done now. Wait a minute. Have I got path tracing on? I better fucking wait a minute. I got sampling and lights and light tree. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah, no, everything's set up now. Thank you. Right, okay. And I shall just make sure save the startup file. But anyway, no, Somps, I really got to go. It's 2 a.m. here, and I've got work tomorrow. But nice talking to you. And and if I can ever help with Blender, I have got Blender artists in my team, by the way. That if you ever have a question that I can't answer, I can just ask them if it's a quickie.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks.
Cool. Catch you later.
All right. Have a good night, and thank you for showing me some things.
Not a problem. Bye.
All right. Good night.
Right, guys. I am utterly knackered, so I'm off now, and I'm a good artist. Cool. I used to be a good artist, but I stopped doing 3D graphics probably longer than you have been alive ago, maybe. I used to be in games and visual effects for a very, very long time, but then decided to do something better. So there you go. And then I started my career again outside of 3D graphics, even though I could have, so my career went from junior artist to head of art for a studio that eventually got bought by Disney. And then I went to be an Autodesk instructor and then lead tech for a multi-group international developer. And then just before moving to studio head of a games development company, I decided, fuck this, I'm going to start again because I'm sick of my life. Balls to it. I'm going to choose something else. So that's what I did. Wait a minute. Stingray, I've got a flat Earth believer here. Can you add me up and let me see global really quickly then? Wait a minute, where are we? Really, really quickly, because it's 2 a.m. Really 2 a.m.
Yeah, mate.
Hello.
Yeah, good. There's some guy want to ask you some questions about the globe.
Okay.
Yeah, let me give him some question. Yes, Steve. Ladies. What's that?
Not a lot. I'm just fixing to go to bed because it's 2 a.m. over here. How about you? Did you have some questions about the globe?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell us that it's daylight over there and nighttime over there, because that works exactly the same on a disc.
It just actually.
Is he saying, oh, he can see the stars, and then the other one says he can't? That's all perspective.
You can ask me.
I can shout all these down. I can shout all these down, mate. I could put him in his fucking place.
Yeah, ask him a question.
All that can happen.
Okay, yes. No, I thought you had genuine questions rather than drunken ramblings, so I am definitely going to fucking bed now. Oh, goddamn. Right, anyway, guys. Yeah. I shall no doubt be on again at some time, but just remember, one of these matches reality. One is really useful, and the other is about as useful as something that doesn't exist. There you go. Oh, and I updated the stats, by the way. There you go. That's the stats. Despite Riz's best efforts on putting my face into a mountain, I'm still going to class it as a usefulness of 0% for the flat Earth. But there you go. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining. I shall catch you all later.